Welcome to this new video. Today we're going to see how to connect the new Prometheus node exporter integration to RebootX. So let's get started. As you can see on the right of my screen, there is my AWS console. I have three EC2 instances, two are terminated and one is running. If I open the same environment in my RebootX application, I can see the exact same items. So for the one that is running, we can see that it tells me a message asking me to connect to SSH once in order to fetch the metrics. So that's what we are going to do. If I click on the small terminal icon, I enter the screen. So here the host and the port are good according to my EC2 instance IP address and my security group for the SSH port. But for the username, if I open the documentation of AWS, I can see that the usernames are specific to the type of instances I'm running. So since I've chosen Amazon Linux, the user should be EC2-user and not admin, which is for Debian. So I need to go back to my application and change admin to EC2 user. Okay, now that's done, I need to provide the private key. So when I created my EC2 instance, I've been able to download my private key. So now it's on my laptop, but I need to send it to my phone, which is on screen right now. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to copy it from my download folder to my iCloud Drive download folder, so it will be accessible from my phone. So depending on your machine, it can be a different path, but it should be similar as this one. So it's com.apple.clouddocs/download. Okay, so I've copied my key, and then I need to open my files application on my phone, and here I can see that I have my key available. So if I click on it, I can see that there is a problem because it considers it as a profile, so it tries to install it, but it's not a valid profile, so hence the error. So for that, we're going to press long on it, and I'm going to rename it from PEM to TXT. So this way, I'll be able to open my key. So here it is, and I'm going to select everything. It's not very practical if you have big fingers, but you need to make sure that to avoid selecting line breaks at the end of the file. It should be only the characters that you pick. And if I go back to my app and I paste it over here, I can see that, yeah, no line breaks have been taken, so it should be good. So, and finally, I need to check the remember key. This way, the key will be saved securely into the keychain of the phone, and it will be reusable by the system, by the RebootX app when it runs. So if I check this and I connect, so I can see that I'm connected. If I try to run some simple commands, pwd, if I try to list the files of the current folder, okay, I can confirm that I'm connected to my EC2 instance. So now that's done, I can go back to the list of instances to see what's happening. So I see that it's trying to load the metrics, but it shows me another message. So it tells me to install node exporter on the server. So of course it's a brand new EC2 instance, so it's not installed. So for that, I'm going to SSH into the server from my laptop, but you can also do it from the phone if you want to. So we're going to install node exporter to the server. So first I'm going to change the permissions of the file for it to be accepted by OpenSSH, and I'm going to SSH into my instance. Downloads RebootX test, and if I remember, it's EC2-user and if I look at the IP address of my machine, it's 3.93.31.150. Okay, and here I can see the beautiful bird which confirms that I'm connected to my machine. So now what we need to do is to grab a Prometheus node exporter. So for that, we're going to open the GitHub page, which is publicly accessible, and we're going to open the releases section. Here I see that I have lots of precompiled binaries. The one that I'm interested in is the one for Linux and AMD 64. So I'm just going to copy the link here, and I'm going to wget this on my server. So that's done. Then we need to untar it to uncompress the binaries. Okay, that's done as well. And what we're going to do is to create a simple systemd service. This way, even if our instance is rebooted or stopped and restarted after, our node exporter will be able to restart by itself. We won't have to do it manually. So let me just clear my screen. And here, I'm going to take the file, and then we are going to see how it looks like. So if I open it, the lib systemd. No, of course, sorry. I tried to create the file, but I'm not a super user, so I can't do it. So first, I need to go super user. See here, and here I can create my file. And now, if I try to display it, it should be available. Okay, so as we can see, it's a pretty simple systemd service definition file, nothing very fancy. So if you are an expert in systemd, you can always tweak the services as you want. So for the record, Node Exporter doesn't need the root user to be executed, and it's not recommended. So it's fine to use the EC2 user, and you can even create a dedicated user for that. So I won't go deep into the explanation of the systemd service. You can go look at the documentation if you want to. So now we need to enable our service for a node exporter to be able to run. So I need to change the permission of this file. Here, systemd system node exporter. Okay. And since I've I've provided a new service to systemd, I need to reload the configuration. So for that, I'm going to reload the daemon. Okay, now we need to start our node exporter service. The command is pretty explanatory. After that, so as I said, the advantage of systemd is that we'll be able to restart a node exporter service automatically, even if the server is restarted. So for that, we need to enable the service like this, okay? And finally, just to be sure it runs correctly, we need to check the status, just to be sure. Okay, as I can see, the status tells me that it's active and it's running, but it's not enough. We're going to check that out by ourselves. So we can exit the root mode, and we went back to the EC2 user, and to check if it works correctly, we are simply going to send a query to the node exporter server, which is exposed by default at this address. And here I can see that I have my metrics exposed, so I can run them. Here we don't see that it changes, but of course the values change. There are like 300 metrics exposed by node exporter, so every time you execute this like this, the values change. So now that's been done, we can go back to our RebootX application, and we're going to refresh our list. So it's loading. And voila, I can see that I have my metrics automatically fetched via SSH by the RebootX application. So there are no intermediaries, no Prometheus server, no Grafana. It's the RebootX application that connects through SSH to the server, computes the metrics. So in this case, it's CPU, RAM, disk, and if I scroll, and uptime. So I can see that my instance has been running for 14 minutes, uh, and it's not using too much RAM or disk or CPU because nothing runs on it. But I'm pretty sure when you enable all of this on your infrastructure, you'll see that maybe, for example, there is a server that is starting to have very low disk space because of too many logs or any other reasons. So we hope that this new feature will help you detect more issues uh, and in a simple way. So of course, all of this already exists, but you need to wire a lot of things. And we hope to make it very simple here for all the makers, the hackers, etc., to be able to track the servers very easily. So the first users of our solution is ourselves. So we are happy to provide this to you as well. And of course, if you need new metrics to be computed from the metrics that you see on the left, let us know. There is a share feedback section on the application here. So you can send us any message you want and we'll have a look at it. And last word, I've shown, sorry, how this works on AWS, but it works on any other cloud provider because everything is standard, like not exporter. As long as it's a Unix machine, it will work. So if you are on GCP, Azure, or OVH, Scaleway, it will work as well. So that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for following, and let us know if you have any questions.